Information discussed on Talkin Money with Jeff Tarbell is believed to be from reliable sources. However, no responsibility is assumed for inaccuracies. No statement made on this broadcast should be construed as a specific recommendation of a particular investment product. Views expressed are those of the speakers and do not necessarily represent those of CBS Radio. Use only as directed.
Smiles, everyone. Smiles. And prepare yourself for...
Show me the money!
Ladies and gentlemen, the radio broadcast experience designed to keep your wallet in top condition. It's Talkin' Money with Jeff Tarbell.
Talkin' money. Talkin' money. More money, more money, more money.
And now entering the studio, your guru for fiscal fitness, Jeff Tarbell.
Right, how you doing?
Doing good. What's up with you?
I got a little bit of hearing left after last night's game, a little bit.
I heard you're part of history.
Yeah, I'm historical, all right. We are back live with you. This is Talkin' Money. John Fodorero, Jeff Tarbell, and we start every show the same way, with Chris griping about something to do with sports, I'm sure. You got your headphones working there? All my gear works here. I'm not touching anything, so we're good on this side.
Yeah, mine is working somewhat.
Okay, somewhat. Welcome to CBS Radio. What's on your mind there, Verlad?
Well, usually I think about what I'm going to say like 15 seconds before you throw it over to me. But
Right.
This I've been thinking about for a long time.
Okay.
Super excited. California Republic, we've been talking about this for a long time. Looks like they're going to be getting a temporary stadium at Cal Expo, which is so awesome.
Yeah,
It's about 8,000 seats. The average attendance for the league that they're going in is about 3,000 to 2,000 people. They already have 2,100 season tickets sold as of right now, which is completely awesome. So this is going to be a great venue. I was kind of upset a little bit because I can't think of any bars around Cal Expo. So I'm thinking, how am I going to do that? But I'm guessing we're going to be doing a lot of tailgating and really looking forward to it. All grass, which wouldn't happen at Hughes Stadium. So really looking forward to the season coming up.
Yeah, that's a good location for them, and that'll be great. And glad for Warren Smith, and Warren's been on the show before. I'm sure we'll have him back again as we get a little closer to the official takeoff for Republic FC. So you can Google them if you want to get some tickets.
I think the logo is cool.
The logo. In fact, if Warren's listening, he still owes you and I a T-shirt or hat or something. I told him you got to get one for Chris too, because Chris would cry like a little girl if we didn't give him
That's
one.
right.
So there you go. Anybody else attend last night's game? That's the first game I've been to this year. Actually, very good game. And
very good 3/4.
Yeah, it was a perfect 3/4. They went down by 10 points real quick there, and they could have a hard time coming back. The whole thing about the let's set a world record for noise. I call it like manufactured enthusiasm. I guess it'd be similar to having a 30-year-old actress, beautiful actress, marry 70-year-old Michael Douglas or something. Manufactured enthusiasm. I don't get it. What's the point? We all yell as loud as we can. We're not really yelling about anything going on the court of play at the moment. We're just trying to make as much noise as we can inside a building, and then somebody else will get louder and they'll just keep going. I find that the thing is just like, what are we doing this for? Now I've been in Arco when it was louder than it was last night for real. When we were during the playoffs against the Lakers, and it would have been louder than that for sure. But to sit there and everybody's bang their things and yell out so the little microphone can go up and you can say you're world champions until next week when somebody else does it, I don't get it. I don't get the point. But that's just me.
Just for fun.
Okay.
Just trying to have a little fun.
I get it.
The way it got started was pretty cool. Fan Kevin Fippen tweeted like, "Hey, we've had a louder crowd than what they had in Milwaukee," and he tweeted Vivek, and they called Guinness and said, "We're going to do it."
Okay. So I mean, if it's a natural born type thing, that's fun. And like I said, I've been there when it was. I can't believe that that one that was the loudest, because I've been there when it's been louder. I mean, literally, people hit their feet and the place
People
would
just going nuts.
Yeah, like the place was going to come down type loud. So I don't disagree that Arcos probably has been one of the loudest places on earth at some point in time. But I prefer it when we're actually trying to win something rather than just in between the break. But anyway, that's just me. Don't take it personally. A lot of things going on in the news. How are you doing? We had I did see that more people have abandoned their U.S. citizenship this year than ever in the United States. You want to take a guess how many people have renounced their citizenship? Think about all the people trying to get here. How many people do you think have renounced? I know
72,000 people.
72,000. Oh, you're close. 560.
Oh my god!
And that is a
Okay. That's a record?
That's a 33% increase over 2011. Excuse me, I apologize. That was the last release. It was 2,369 people so far. It's still early. We still got time. Christmas tends to run a few people out of it.
Okay.
So about 2,400 people a year leave. And did you know? I did not know this. If you do not want to be an American citizen anymore, there is a exit tax. Why the hell not?
Of course.
There's a tax for everything else. So we're going to tax you coming in, and we're going to tax you going out. But this is the other thing I thought was interesting, because if you renounce your citizenship, you are not required to hold citizenship anywhere else.
So you're just not a citizen?
So
that's what I was trying to figure out.
I'm a citizen of the earth.
That was one of the questions I had. I was thinking, well, okay, if I'm not an American citizen, I am a...
Yeah. Well, I know what you are.
Unknown?
You are yet to be determined.
Easy.
Yet to be determined.
Easy.
Well, and this is not too far off of one of the problems we have with. There's a lot of companies, Apple being one of the more famous. A lot of companies that have all these little divisions, and they some of them kind of get lost out there. They're like, okay, well, what government? Where are you actually set up? Well, we're kind of over here. Like, okay, where's over here? And I don't know if we had it. We had it before. Was it in there? That city?
Got it.
You got it? Yeah, there's a city. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a Dublin address.
Okay.
That units of many U.S. businesses share a single building in Dublin as a registered address at 70 Sir John Rogerson's Quay.
Okay, oh yeah.
70
I used to live on that street. There's a killer bar next door too, Chris, in case you're wondering.
So
who are the neighbors on that?
Pepsi, Goldman Sachs, Microsoft, Abbott, McKesson, Honeywell, Alcoa, Google, Beam, Charles Schwab, EMC, JP Morgan, Oakley, and Yelp
are all in this one building.
All have subsidiaries at this address in this building.
So that is, and I'm guessing they're all not manufacturing. So if you're actually looking for a job and you wanted to make one stop, I probably would hit that building right off the bat. I'm not sure there's anybody in the building, but they're registered in that building.
Well, this here says Apple employs 4,000 people in Ireland and said in testimony that its Irish entities play an important role in its international business.
Yeah, they keep the taxes.
Apple is the biggest taxpayer in the U.S., paying $6 billion last year.
Ooh.
It says its local taxes overseas. So anyway, Ireland's corporate income tax at a rate of 12.5% is among the lowest in Europe. So Pepsi actually has the largest. They have 14 subsidiaries on that street.
Wow. So there you go. Now give me in Dublin, Ireland?
Yes.
Give me the name of the street again.
70 Sir John Rogerson's Quay.
There you go. If you're looking for a job, there's a whole bunch of businesses right there. Chris, I'm thinking it might be time to get on a plane. Dublin, here you come.
That is the home of the law firm that helps companies with Irish tax law.
So they're maybe not all right there. Anyway, okay. So if you're going to leave the United States, you do have to pay an exit tax, but you do not have to declare your citizenship somewhere else. And the biggest reason for people leaving, experts say, is the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, which basically means other governments cannot hide your money from the U.S. government. So 2,369 people and growing, and probably a couple people looking for their health care. Does anybody want to...
So I got to bring this up. So my good friend of mine is California Insurance Finders.com, and he's involved in all the Obamacare and all this stuff. So he's got signs in front of his business. So on a weekly basis, they get torn down, shredded in half, and thrown on his doorstep. The guy's just a messenger. I mean, come on.
But everybody wants Obamacare. Why don't get it?
Yeah.
Why would that happen?
Did you miss the last chapter?
No. And under the term of, I won't even use the word, mismanagement, the President of the United States, unaware, his website doesn't work, unaware that 4 million people were going to lose their insurance, unaware. That's probably just a good definition. That should be the campaign slogan, unaware, period. What a fuster.
Agreed.
I had a little bit of time in the insurance business, and this is the part where you say, well, why does our president, why does an individual have to have management experience or business experience? Because these are big deals that go on in place. And to stand up in front of the American people and say, oh, dang it, I didn't realize you were all going to lose your health care. So what I'm going to do unilaterally, because this is a law and I can do that, I'm going to say, I'm going to throw it back on all the insurance companies. I'm going to make all of them look bad now. I'm going to say, you guys don't have to change your policy. And then when they say, well, too damn bad, we already did. And by the way, all the insurance commissioners, most of them in the state, have said, hey, you know what? We've already done our homework, idiots. We've been working for the last 3 years to get this in place. Don't call us now and do a meeting and say you can change it again for a year. Take us a damn year to get the stuff turned around.
Absolutely.
But this is nothing. This isn't about that. This is about being able to go back to the insurance company and say, I told you they could keep it. They dropped you. There's bad people in the insurance business. They dropped you. I can't believe they did that. I mean, this doesn't affect. I mean, this, so far, knock on wood, this hasn't affected me. I'm not screaming, but it is just a mess. And I contend that they should be thrilled that their website doesn't work. I mean, they're blaming everything. They should be because the problem is not enough people have got a quote yet.
Right.
So there's still people that haven't figured out that this is really going to be a bigger mess. Because they haven't gotten the pricing yet. So don't be mad your website isn't working. Be glad. Because then everybody would know that they can't afford
how bad it's going to be.
Want to
exactly.
Do it. So, and it is a mess. They were expecting 500,000 people a month to sign up. They have barely cracked 100,000.
Whoops.
So, this is out of the Wall Street Journal today. Had I been informed people were going to lose their insurance, had I been informed the website wasn't going to work, the White House is soul-searching as errors mount. After Summers, Syria, and the healthcare fiasco, a senior aide says it might be time to get more organized going forward. Hell, you're 5 years into an 8-year term. Okay? My 14-year-olds need to get more organized.
Yeah, there's no excuse there.
Well, if you voted for it, you got it. And it's a mess. I'm just trying to trying to watch the news up here on the TV screen here in the studio. It looks like a fair number of Democrats have crossed over and are going to vote for. And did that pass? Did anybody see it? It did. So they were able to pass a law that says you can keep your existing health care for a year. But again,
right,
a year.
Well, that's
and what
the
they really
so good at
what they really mean is you can pass it until the next election's over, and then we're going to screw you some more because we like to screw you in little sections. We don't want to get it all in at one time.
That's right.
So I don't know, folks. Community organizing isn't, I guess, apparently passing over in the insurance. And I quite honestly, it can't just be one person. I mean, it's got to be. I mean, one person whose name is on it probably ought to know if it works or not. But it's got to be a collective of a mess. So if you've lost your insurance, and I think we did this a couple weeks ago, or if you've been able to get a quote, I would love to hear from one. I know that there's 100,000 people that signed up. I know there's one person.
I signed up.
You okay? Did you get a policy?
Yeah.
So you do not have a policy through your employer?
Nope.
Okay. So what does it cost you?
$81 a month. And
what do you get?
It's the silver package. I got to go over everything, but I got to go over everything because I'm not going to be able to remember anything.
No, that's awesome. I mean, if you didn't have insurance and can get it, and particularly because you're under 40, you're under 30. How old
Barely under 30.
Okay, but you are the one. I'm going to give you some slack there. I'm going to say almost healthy. I'm just picking on you. But they need the 30-somethings to sign up because if they get a bunch of 60s and 70-year-old somethings to sign up, and that's the only people that sign up, and they generally use more health care than the 30-somethings, their scale goes out of whack. So how long? Well, now California has a much, 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 much better system. Did you have any problems logging in or getting on?
Nope.
Yeah. So and I've heard that the California system has their act together, so they're not on the quote unquote federal website. You're able to go through a local exchange. Now, Chris, are you able to, and we'll take a break just a minute. I know it's new to you, so you probably haven't had a chance to use it yet, but so if you need to go to the doctor like right now, do they tell you who you can go to or when you can go?
It's through Kaiser.
Oh, it is through Kaiser?
Yeah.
Then $81 a month through Kaiser for an individual.
That's a great deal.
Is awesome. Is awesome. I probably pay $500 or $600 a month for a family. With a huge deductible, so that's a good deal. Now, why wouldn't Kaiser have taken you before? Or did you ever try?
The same package I was looking for was probably like $200, $300 a month.
Through Kaiser?
Yeah.
And they're apples for apples?
Yeah.
Okay. Then awesome. Then that's that's good. And I hope that there's more of that. But you see, I will find out. I guess there's 4 million people in the United States that are going to figure out what they're going to do with something. And maybe California has got a package that's, maybe they got a better package than the national one. I hope so. But we'll see. So if you have a similar experience to Chris, that's awesome. We'd love to hear from you. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You can text us at 441140. But it does look like they passed this morning a stopgap bill that will at least allow you to keep what you had for a year, assuming your company can figure out how to do that. And that'll be the big assumption there. But we'll watch that. That'll change over the next few days. John's got a quiz question for you.
Yes.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You can text us at 441140. We have some Round Table Artisan Flatbread Pizza for you. We got some Talkin Money drink koozies. Get those out.
Yeah, so question number 1 of the morning is, which company rejected a $3 billion buyout offer this week? And if you're really good, let us know why.
339-1140. Who made the offer? I want to give that away.
Can't tell you.
$3 billion.
Rejected a $3 billion buyout offer. Some 20-year-old said no.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of guts to say. I mean, when I was 20, if you'd give me $35, I'd have gone into a little cold sweat there to see if I could make it work. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You can text us the answer at 441140. If you're using the text line, make sure you either give us your name and address or your full phone number so we know how to get a hold of you. Otherwise, we'll send your number to the 209-6-something. That'll be it. This is Talkin Money. We're going to be
right back, Jack.
Talkin Money.
Well, alrighty then. We're back to Talkin Money with Jeff Tarbell.
Yeah. How you doing? Twitter, Men's Warehouse, Snapchat, Snapshot. You have to spell it right if you're going to win. So we did get a, what was the question there?
The question was, who this week rejected a $3 billion buyout offer? And if you're really good, why?
And the answer was Snapshot?
It'd be Snapchat.
Oh, Snapchat. Gotcha. Why'd they turn it down?
Because they thought they could get more money. Or they think they can get more money.
Yeah,
Not even a thought. It is apparently a Chinese internet giant had offered to lead an investment that would value Snapchat at $4 billion. So they think, now this is a company that makes no money.
Do they have revenue or they don't? I don't think
they have no revenue.
There you go.
This
Okay.
is a 23-year-old CEO of a 2-year-old company with no revenue. Rejected a $3 billion all cash buyout from those at Facebook.
Yep.
And I'm not sure the difference between $3 billion and $4 billion.
There isn't one if you're the sole owner. You couldn't spend it either one. But hey, it's his company, his choice.
That's right.
So hey, if he gets $4 billion next week, then he's a genius.
He's a genius.
If he waits and gets $20 billion, if the market goes into tank, he gets snap nothing. So I probably would take.
There'd be a lot of chatting about that.
I'd probably take the $3 billion. But what do I know?
That's why we're here.
I'm not 20-something
That's
anymore.
right.
That's the problem. And this is related. This is only in San Francisco. I guess I would. Maybe not. Maybe not. There is a little follow-up to what's happened after Twitter went public. And people are riding their bikes by the Twitter headquarters, bicycles, and running by and giving them the finger and saying, thanks for ruining our neighborhood and all sorts of things in San Francisco. Now, most areas are trying to attract business and money, but maybe it's a little jealousy. Twitter shares closed Monday at 42.9, valuing the site at more than $20 billion. Elsewhere in Twitter's hometown, the city's highest profile IPO has prompted a heated debate about whether the newfound wealth should be cheered or feared. The community activist said it is fueling rising house costs and evictions, and worrying that the new Twitter wealth will accelerate the trends that are changing the nature of the quirky city in San Francisco.
Maybe we should shoot for a small subsidiary in Sacramento.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe we should throw that out there.
And this is the part that always gets me. My hope. This is a. They quoted somebody from the city there. or maybe somebody in the city, not from the city. My hope is that they're going to be responsible corporate citizens and figure out a way to give back in a manner that is appropriate and meaningful. How about we're like hiring a bunch of people and
giving them good jobs? And
never enough. We hope they're going to give back. These guys have just made some money. Now we wanted all of them to give it back, not expand and hire more people. But don't buy our houses from us unless I'm ready to sell my house, in which case it's ready to buy. Anyway, I find it fascinating how big wealth comes in immediately and
hands are out.
Yeah, hands are out for sure. I did see this. Anybody drinking Starbucks this morning, you might want to go buy it quickly before the price goes up. Starbucks defeated this week in a $2.8 billion lawsuit.
I followed that a little bit.
Against Kraft. Maybe they were going to do like a mac and cheese version of the flavored coffee or what?
Well, Kraft was their distributor.
Oh.
They had a distribution contract that apparently Starbucks thought they weren't doing what their contract said, so they fired them, and then Kraft went and did a small little lawsuit, and apparently...
Yeah, the arbitrator ruled Starbucks should pay $2.23 billion in damages. That's almost as much as buying Snapchat.
Which has no revenue.
That's a big fine. You could buy a Snapchat for that. Plus $527 million in prejudgment interest and attorney's fees. Ooh. That'd be a good one if you're an attorney there. $527 million. I'm in the wrong. Once again, I'm in the wrong field. Had I paid attention in school more, it would be. Maybe it'd be better.
But then you had to go to school even longer.
I know. You'd had to listen and learn. Twitter has offices in Sacramento, according to the 530. Awesome. Bring some of that money up here. We'll sell you some property there, Twitters. So, what else went on this week? This was so let's talk about a couple things that are coming up mortgage related. It was an interesting week because last Friday, not yesterday, but the Friday ago, rates took a big jump in one day. A lot based on some updated financial news as far, remember the government was shut down. You got a little bit of delay in some reporting, and then all of a sudden you kind of get a big report because they're kind of catching up. And it looked like, oh, wow, we got all these new jobs, and so the Fed's going to have to lower or stop buying, and rates are going to have to come up. And so that was all on a Friday. Boom.
Before a long weekend,
yeah. This week, rates were relatively flat early in the week, and then Mrs. Janet Yellen, the Fed vice chairwoman, who is nominated to succeed the chair position, came out this week, and she probably will get the job. I mean, and I think both sides realize that she knows what she's doing. She said the same thing, basically, hey, we're going to keep buying these bonds. We're not going to stir the pot. And boom. Rates came back down again this week, and everybody thought, well, the government's going to keep buying and spending money, so we'll be cool with it. In fact, she said that probably, the references to her comments were that maybe they won't be tapering off their business in December, which is what they thought they were going to do. I contend that I don't know how you ever get out of the crack business. I mean, you are in the business of, just constantly feeding free money to the system. And believe me, folks, I benefit from it. I mean, when rates stay down, it helps our business, it helps our clients, and I benefit. So I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. But you get to the business, you get to the point in time where you're so used to giving away or doing something that's artificial. This is not a real market. And you look at the stock market right now. The stock market is overinflated. There's 5 articles here on the table right here that are talking about we're in another bubble. And what I'm concerned about is that when somebody actually does pull the plug on Fed activity as far as buying bonds and supporting rates, that not only are rates going to go up and housing sales and things are going to go down, if not temporarily, but then the stock market's going to come crash. So you're going to get a big whammy. So if you're in charge of running the ship and you're actually paying attention, like these people I think are, then how do you pull the plug without sinking the ship?
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly day. So it's got to happen though.
But
somewhere, someday.
Well, I think what they're hoping is that they, and I don't know how this is going to happen, but the job market grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, and so there's enough other positive news that if they pull the plug on one thing slowly, that it won't kill the entire ship. But we're all so mentally tied now to, like I said, it's like a crack habit. It's like you're mentally tied to this free stuff, and oh my God, if I don't get the free stuff, how are we going to possibly survive? And if someone ever says free stuff's over, you're going to go in withdrawals, and it's going to happen. and they're just trying to figure out how to do it easily or when to do it.
Yeah, and I think Janet Yellen coming in, it's probably a good move on her part to say it's going to continue to keep it level, but...
Well, you're not going to... Remember, she's still interviewing.
Well, of course, right. So she can't rock the boat.
You don't come into the new job and tell your boss, you stink, this path isn't working. I mean, everything would go sideways. She wouldn't get the job.
Well, she's somewhat a politician.
Yeah, well, you have to be. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she believes it. So that's going to go on. So that happened this week and brought some rates. What I don't think people see behind the scenes, and at least those that aren't in the industry, is that January 10th next year is a big day, and it's a big day because there's a couple new rules that are coming into place, and we'll talk about those a little more in the second half. But the two biggest rules are that they're defined as QM and ATR. QM is a qualified mortgage, and ATR is your ability to repay. And it sounds like, well, what does ability to repay mean? I mean, what lender would make a loan if I can't repay? But what it really means is going forward is there's going to be, for example, in the qualified mortgage, there's going to be 8 key factors that have to be included for this loan to be considered what they call a safe harbor loan. Or if I make you a loan and the loan goes bad, if I met those 8 criteria, you can't come back and sue me, which is BS. You can sue me. You can sue anybody you want. But nonetheless, it's supposed to be a theoretical safe harbor. But those numbers are, for example, a 43% debt ratio on a conforming loan. Well, that's going to stop a lot of people. Now, maybe you say, hey, it shouldn't. You shouldn't be loaning more than 43%. But there are circumstances where above 43 is just is just fine. I mean 43% for a person who's making $1,500 a month. To go beyond that's tight. 43% for a person who's making $15,000 a month maybe isn't quite as tight. There's a lot of left, but you're going to start losing some of these discretionary abilities to make decisions on those type of loans. And what it really does is it brings now legal teeth, more legal teeth to borrowers to go back after their lenders in the future. So why is a lender going to want to step outside the box to help you? Why would they want to do anything that would possibly put them in that box so that you can bring a class action lawsuit or something else against them in the future? So it's just going to make lending tougher. Because, I mean, if you don't think the lending community has already learned their lesson as far as massive losses and trillions of dollars and billions of dollars of losses, they're already making very, very good loan products now. But now we're saying if you don't do these specific 8 things, if you don't follow this exact rule, then the borrower can come sue you in the future. So some lenders have just said, forget it, we're just not going to do it. And if you happen to be one of those people that is at 44% debt ratio with great credit, or you don't meet one of the other 8 criteria and you don't get a loan, you're going to think this is ridiculous. Now, there will be other loans for you. We're already starting to see. I saw the first marketing piece coming to me this week from a stated income loan again. That was the stuff that got us into all the trouble in the past. But a true what we would call more like a bank statement loan, where you look at someone's bank statements, you say, God, this person's depositing $20,000 a month coming and going, even though their tax returns don't necessarily maybe show $250,000 a year. We see there's income coming in. I mean, true makes sense type of stuff. And by the way, you're going to put down 30 or 35%. You better have good credit, right. And your rate's going to be 6 or 7, not 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. So you're starting to see other lenders coming in the process. But there's some big changes coming next year. The other one is the 3% rule. The maximum contribution, the maximum compensation a lender can make on a loan is 3%. We say, well, 3% of an $80,000 loan is $2,400. And by the way, that includes title and escrow, which is half that. So some lenders are going to start saying, well, we're only going to do loans above $200,000. Yep. Because our cost of making that loan to you is, if the 3% doesn't just go to John or I, here, you guys make 3% and it's all your compensation. If that was the case, great. But we have our compliance department in our company has 7 people in it. I mean, the cost of making sure the loan is done properly is so expensive, and the penalty is so incredibly arduous if you're wrong. And then starting next year on 110, you can't even fix it. They have you get a loan and they have what's called a cost to cure. Hey, your fees were off a little bit, you can adjust it. They're not even going to allow that, as I understand it. So the loan will just get declined and won't even get made.
It's going to be rough.
It's going to be not in the consumer's benefit, which is what everything's supposed to be for the consumer's benefit, and it isn't going to benefit consumers. Low-end borrowers on the low-end price rate, low-end loan amounts are going to probably get left out. People just say, you know what, we can't afford to do a loan for that.
Right. So they're going to end up spending 6 to 9% to get a loan on that product because you can't do it otherwise.
Or the lender is going to say, instead of charging the fees, we're going to have to charge a rate. You know, if the rest of the world's getting 4.5 today on your $80,000 loan, your rate's going to be 5.5 because we can't charge any fees. We got to make it up in the interest. How does that benefit the person who's buying it? You know, their first house at $80,000. It doesn't.
Yep.
So so be prepared. And people ask me, should I? I'm thinking about saving more money and waiting. I'm like,
don't wait.
Waiting for what? Waiting for rates to go up? Waiting for the rules to get harder? Waiting for your house price to go up? Waiting for the train to move away from you or the train to fall off the tracks. What are you waiting for? Don't.
Not going to get any easier.
It sounds self-serving. You guys want business now. Don't wait. There's not a single thing that looks out there and says it's going to be better tomorrow. It isn't. It is not. So I hope that sticks in a little bit. We can talk about it some more if you'd like. Number here in the studio, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You can text us at 441140. Like I said, make sure if you're texting us, you give us either your full phone number in the text or your name and address if you're going to win something, and we will get it out to you. A couple phone lines open if you want to jump in today, 339-1140. If you are like Chris, you've been able to sign up for Obamacare, or you have not been able to get through and you have some comments, we'd love to hear from those as well today. We'll give you guys some roundtable pizza. What do you got?
I got more excitement is what I got.
You're okay.
We're just full of it. So we, the United States, are selling 12 to 14 million pounds of what? What are we selling 12 to 14 million pounds of? This is every week with a value of $7 billion. So we are, let's hit that again, the highlights.
You want to use the word scrap or you want to use?
We're scrapping, sure. 12 to 14 million pounds of something with a value of $7 billion, and we're doing this every week.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We probably pay for all of the 4 million people that lost their health care for a little bit with just the money that's being in that little story. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You can text us, 441140. If you know the answer to that, we'll get you some round table artisan flatbread pizza, some of the Talkin Money drink koozies, and our undying love and affection. That's or something like that. We'll be right back.
Talkin Money!
And we're back to Talkin Money. And here's Jeff Tarbell.
Right. The answer was not the wine bottles from John Fodorello's birthday of last night, although that was close. It was second. The government didn't have anything to do with those, but the value was correct.
That's right.
But just the not the owner. So I had lumber, I had aluminum, I had beer cans, I had all kinds of answers. Let's give the question again.
Did we get the right answer?
It was
Okay.
It was a tremendous amount of money.
So the question was, what is the United States on a weekly basis selling 12 to 14 million pounds of? I'll tell you that it's not here in the United States that they're being sold. The value is $7 billion of supplies.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like that's the best. I don't know. It seems
returning the gear to the United States from a landlocked country halfway around the world would be prohibitively expensive, says the U.S. officials.
So they're grinding up all of our military equipment.
That's right. So the armored trucks, televisions, ice cream scoops, and nearly everything else shipped over to Afghanistan.
We cannot let the enemy get a hold of our ice cream scoops.
Is being chopped up and scrapped.
The Syrian rebels have taken over with ice cream scoops and a fork.
Yep. I mean, you got to see these military armored vehicles.
It's enormous.
Just being scrapped.
Yeah, so $7 billion.
On a weekly basis.
Yeah.
As Jeff was saying, maybe we should keep a little bit of it over there.
I was thinking we could get a storage unit and put some of the stuff in it. We might have to come back. Right. I mean, that's the thing. It's we're leaving, but we may be back. So we're going to get we could build the world's coolest U-store, put a little padlock on it, and put a little note saying ice cream scoops not available, and we could put them all in there and store them. I mean, but I mean, I get it. Why you're gonna destroy the stuff so it doesn't get it in somebody else's hands, and you're selling the material to the Afghans to use for basically raw material for other products. But I don't know. It's
a crazy article.
I mean, I get it. Shipping it back, I mean, think about how many plane rides it takes to ship, just a couple trucks, and there's a whole bunch. I mean, but we got it there, and we must have some friends nearby somewhere who's got a field we could park them in.
I'd personally like to see the calculation. So we send all this stuff over, right? And we use it all for war, and then we spend money to grind it all up.
And we get 5 cents.
Sell scraps.
So we don't have to bring it back.
So it just doesn't compute. I would think.
I'll tell you who's in charge of that deal. The guy who produces the trucks and the scoops.
Right.
Because he's like, hey, we got to break that stuff up, so I can build you some new
make
scoops.
Some more.
Yeah, because we got a whole new scoop now.
I need a new government contract.
I need a new government scooper. This one is giving me a cramp. So anyway, that's the answer to that. We got that right from the 916. So your money going down the scoop right there. I personally now I want a military ice cream scoop. I will not. I don't even eat ice cream anymore, but I'm going to start. I'm getting me one. I don't care. If you can get wolf urine, I can get an ice cream scoop. And by the way, if you know where our phone screener is in desperate need, she's really figuring, no, it's not illegal. Oh, coyote urine.
It's not wolf, it's coyote.
And is it dried urine or is it?
It's dry in a can.
Oh, okay, dry. So you have to add your own water, but we need some coyote urine in a stat. So if you know where you can get coyote urine, and this is not a joke.
We're going downhill.
No, we are not. We're going across the fence because apparently the coyote urine discourages the chipmunks from the backyard from bugging you. So if you are familiar with the coyote urine process, dried coyote urine, we don't want liquid. We got to transport it. Then give our phone screener a call right now, please, 339-1140, and give her some directions where she can. This is the kind of helpful information you get on Saturday morning radio. You don't get this during the week. No, coyote urine is for weekends.
That's right.
Only. I got this question during the week, and then I actually saw this in an article that came up this week twice. So, and we'll let John answer the question here. What is the possibility of getting you get this called all the time, a long-term lock? I want to lock myself 90 days, 180 days, a year. How far in advance, can I lock in a rate? It's a great question because if you listen to us and you're saying, okay, hey, these idiots think rates are going to go up sometime.
Lock me in now.
Lock me in now. And I get the question all the time, how far in advance can I lock? So what would your normal response be?
You want the easy answer or the complicated one?
You can give the easy answer.
The easy answer is, you have to have a property that we can attach the lock to. So if you're buying a home, you have to be in contract. If you're refinancing, then we can do that now with your name, address, social security number, and property. And we can then do a lock, generally speaking, 30, 60 days. The longer the lock, the more expensive it is. And if you're looking at buying a new home that's under construction, there are some other products out there, anywhere from 90 to 180 days, but then they also get expensive as it goes.
Yep. And that's the easy answer. And so what you're looking at now is both our company and others as well are looking around saying, do we want to offer a loan lock that goes 3/4 of the year into next year without a property address? And the general rule in the past has been, you have to have an address to tie it to something. But in reality, in the real world, you don't. I mean, lenders do that so they're not just tying up money for someone who doesn't even know if they're going to buy a house because it's expensive,
right?
To cost something to do something. But there is a possibility, and you'll probably see more of it. I know that we're working on the possibility of doing it too. And it's not, there's no magic to it. It's just that if you come to John and say, hey, I know for a fact I'm going to buy something, and you already told me my max price is $400,000, so I'm going to put down 20%. So I'm looking at a loan that's $320,000.
It's going to be $360,000 now because of the new rules in January.
Right. So, but I don't know where it's going to be, and but I'm worried about rates. And quite frankly, John, if you told me if rate goes from 4 to 5, I don't qualify for that. So I need to lock in a 4% rate. So it can be done. A lender can go out and secure you money at 4% today for a long period of time. The question is, at what cost? And the lenders are not going to absorb the cost for you. So basically what you're saying is, I want to buy an insurance policy against rate moving, which is what a hedge is. Your lenders do that every single day of the week, all day long in varying amounts. They're hedging against rate movement. So you can pay that premium, and that's really is what is the cost, of doing it? Because what you're saying is that 3 or 6 or 9 months from now, I want to deliver to somebody a 4% note rate mortgage. Well, that's cool if rates are 4% 9 months from now, but if rates are 5%, nobody wants to buy that. So in order to sell it to them, you have to discount it. And there's a cost to doing that and those kind of things too. So you're going to see more and more of these kind of creative things coming out. And my guess is, generally like on a 180-day lock, I think you pay about a point up front, non-refundable, a true cost. So it's an insurance policy. So take a $200,000 loan. You say you scratch a check for $2,000. Okay, for the next 6 months, my rate's covered. And generally, right now, you have a property in place. And here, and generally, new construction or it could be some other longer term deal, short sale or something else, but whatever. So you get down there and you've got this 4% rate locked in, and 6 months from now, rates are 3.5%. You're like, oh no, I locked in a 4% rate. You don't have to go with a lock. You lose your 1 point up front, and you could relock at something else and go into current market. So you are absorbing the cost of the insurance and you're taking it on. I probably wouldn't do it on a small loan amount, but if you're in a position where either you don't qualify anymore or you really believe that rates will be 6 and you can pay a point or whatever the cost is to keep you in at 4, then it's something considering. But it was a question I get often. It was an email I got, and then very interesting article that came up. Let's see here. They're quoting different lenders on 270-day locks. So the 1% of the total mortgage amount up front, and 7/8 hit to the pricing at the end. So it's not cheap,
right?
Because you're asking someone to guarantee you a rate into the unknown. So it's not cheap, but it can be done. So think about that if you want. I did notice there, we got the 2-minute mark. I did notice that land prices starting to come back down. Always watch land as a good example, because land is where the builders are buying. It gives you an indication in advance what the builders are thinking. And if the land sales are starting to go down, builders aren't buying the lots up because they're not selling the inventory that they have or selling it at the price that they need to get. So that's a good indication that, at least in the new home market, if land prices are softening, then there's less demand for it, which basically means the building community thinks that maybe they're not going to have as much to sell in the future or need to sell as much in the future. So that's a good indicator of where the new home market thinks it's going. You were at a BIA thing. They talking anything different?
They were just talking a lot about the cost of building a new home anymore. It's not the wood and the product. It's the rules and the regulations,
fees and labor,
out of control.
Yeah, no, I still don't think the market's strong enough yet for those guys to get in and really make any money. It's just very, very expensive to create a new widget. There's no question about it. So that's it for this week. You can find us during the week
at johnfod.com.
JOHNFOD.com.
Right.
Check him out if you'd like to. You can find me at 338-9400 or jefftarbell.com. We do post these shows each week, usually on Monday from a broadcast if you want to catch that. We're getting a lot of hits on when Marie Putnam was here for the college education one, too. So if you have a child getting ready to go to college in the next few years, you might go back and find that show from a couple weeks ago. Good information, too. Thanks for participating along. We'll see you guys next Saturday. Mr. Healthcare, we'll talk to you later. Aloha.
Talking money.